Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and yesterday we got all 3 episodes of Season 4 of The Boys. Brand new episodes that are all, I think, an hour long each, so I'm not going to be able to break down all 3 of them, so I will just be going over, like, the overarching things, my major feelings at the beginning of this season. Basically, I'll just say, it's been awesome so far. I think this has been my favorite opening to a season of The Boys, and it just feels like it's coming back stronger than ever. You know, there are some things that it feels like, okay, we're kind of just forgetting about that, I guess. But overall, yeah, it just feels really strong. I like each of the individual little character plot points that we're kind of getting into. Some of them are stronger than others. I think Huey, with his mom coming back and his dad being sick, you know, Huey's always been sort of our grounding to like a more human story on like a personal level. He's dealing with very human, not even related to superhero type stuff. But I am hoping that as the season goes on, Huey's gonna have a bigger role to play. He's gonna like be more involved with everything else going on. And I think overall we have like Victoria Newman's presidency, we have Billy Butcher, who's like only got a handful of months left to live, and really what it's all coming down to is we're fighting over the soul of Ryan, the Homelander's son, where he was introduced, I think, season 2 or maybe even at the end of season 1, but now it's really got to this point where like the entire series feels like it's gonna come down to, is Ryan going to end up like Homelander, or are they going to be able to turn him good? And Billy Butcher, now that he's like essentially on his deathbed, he's had several chances so far, even just the 3 episodes, to do the wrong thing. Because he always does the wrong thing, right? Like he's always trying to make these backhanded deals. He always ends up essentially betraying his own friends, and then he has to like earn their trust all over again. That's why they're always pissed off at him. And early on, Victoria's like, hey, look, I'll help you get Ryan if you give me Huey's files that he has on me. And he almost does it, and then he decides to not do it with help from hallucinations from his dead wife, which that's another thing he's dealing with. And then, of course, he has the opportunity to essentially drug Ryan and forcibly take him to the hideout spot where the CIA would essentially hold him captive, try to train him to take on Homelander, and he decides to not do that either, because that way he can still actually legitimately earn Ryan's trust and turn him good for real, instead of, drugging a child with cookies, So, like, several times here, Billy Butcher has done the right thing, and I think this is finally where it's all gonna pay off for him, where, like, by actually making good choices, he's gonna actually end up being the hero of this situation. Hopefully he stays on this track. And is it only because he's hallucinating his wife there and she's essentially lecturing him to do the good thing? Maybe, but it is doing the good thing. So yeah, I'm actually really proud of Butcher this season so far. I'm like, good job. You did not sell out Huey. You did not give, well, not your son, but you didn't give Ryan these cookies that were going to knock him out. Who knows if that would have even worked, by the way, which I do suspect the cookies are going to come back. They're like in the trash can right now. I suspect that at some point in the future we're gonna see them using these cookies to like make some other soup fall asleep. Let's talk about some other things. So we have Homelander here, who this is like his new crisis. It feels like he has a new crisis every season. His new one is that he is aging, and basically he has to face the fact that he is not immortal. And he kind of goes to what's her name, sister. Oh man, I don't remember what her name is. The smart one, the smartest person in the world. People keep on saying she's the smartest woman in the world. She's the smartest person in the world, and he basically goes to her because she's going to be able to take all of these ideas. She kind of acts as a therapist, but also as like essentially the planner, right? Because he knows that like I have these notions of like how could I take over the world? How could I make myself like essentially a god here on Earth? How could I, like all these ideas that Homelander has in his crazy little brain, and she can actually make those ideas a reality. She knows like societal, like how to do it. Like you can't just kill everyone, because then who's going to build your statues? And like how can you make them tear themselves apart by creating all this conflict. And this is really where the show's diving into a lot of real world political things, which I know is going to be hotly debated on the internet. Even before the season started, Eric Kripke had to come out and be like, hey, I've made it no secret what my political alliances are. This show is very woke. That's what it would be called. It's very woke. So I don't know if you're mad about that. This show is not holding back at all. So, anyways, the smartest Sister Sage. That's what her name is. Anyways. So she's helping Homelander covertly set up all of these like division points, framing the Starlighters for murder, doing all this stuff to like basically stir up a bunch of political turmoil so that, you know, A, B, C, D down the line, Homelander ends up in charge. You know, right now he's going to make deals, trying to make deals with Victoria Newman, because basically the big fear there is that the second that they win the election, you know, maybe a week later, maybe 2 weeks later, something really bad happens to Dakota Bob and he's gone, and now Victoria Newman, a soup, is in the presidency. And somehow Homelander will, you know, he's gonna gain power from that, if not just violently take over at the end. But Sister Sage has plans. You know, basically, Homelander told her, hey, I want to build an empire for my son. You know, and so that's what she's working on. Of course, we even see those two beginning to butt heads a little bit, even though they're working on the same side, because, you know, Homelander's crazy. Homelander doesn't actually, I think, care about Ryan that much. You know, it's really just all surface level image to him. You know, he wants any kind of familial love connection of any kind, because he's, you know, crazy and he's desperate for any kind of connection. And so when Ryan is not appreciative, or when Ryan doesn't agree, he's like steaming. He's gonna flip his lid any second now, and it's gonna be really scary. And I'm actually really worried for Ryan being around Homelander. So like, yeah, Billy Butcher, you need to find a way to convince Ryan to get out of there, because Homelander is like seconds away from doing something horrible. I don't even know. Would he hurt Ryan? Maybe. I don't know. But in any case, Ryan, you got to get out of there, dude. This Homelander guy, like he's talking to like 5 different versions of himself in a mirror, which is kind of funny because Billy Butcher is also talking to hallucinations. So you have that sort of mirrored idea between these two. They've always been like opposites of the same coin kind of thing. But in any case, yeah, I'm really loving where the show is going. Everyone's got their own little plot lines. We have even A-Train is sort of becoming a good guy now. Like, we've seen like hints of that over time, where like he's kind of done with this. Even though he's still, you know, he still helped murder a couple guys in order to put Sister Sage's plan into action. They still murdered guys with bats. We also have a new Black Noir. We have a new Black Noir, and I don't know who this is, to be honest with you. It feels more like a joke than anything, because they killed him off, and now I believe they have the same exact actor playing him while he's wearing the mask. So it's supposed to technically be a new character, but it doesn't feel like there's actually going to be any kind of reveal of it being like a character we know. I think it's just a new guy, which that's okay, but it does kind of feel like, oh, the whole Black Noir like backstory that we got last season, all that like stuff and his death, doesn't feel like it means anything if we're kind of just making a joke out of it. I don't know. I thought it felt a little bit more significant than that, and now it's just kind of not. I'm also really curious if we're gonna have Soldier Boy show up again, because, you know, they have him on ice, right? And it feels like they have this weapon and it's just kind of sitting there. Gen V. So they've mentioned the virus that they were trying to create in Gen V, this virus that could take out Supes. And Billy Butcher knows about it, and he says like it's not strong enough to take on Homelander yet. So it feels like there's just a lot of setup stuff that we have yet to come back to. Of course, we still have the entire season, but yeah, I'm curious where all this is going. Right now, it's been very Ryan focused, which, you know, I'm okay with. But it feels like once the Ryan situation is handled, whether he's fully bad or fully good, it feels like that's when the virus is going to come back into play. That's when Soldier Boy is going to come back into play, because like we have several things that are just kind of on ice, literally. But yeah, overall, I've really enjoyed this season so far. I think these first 3 episodes have been really strong. You're getting to actually, like, I feel bad for Billy Butcher now. I mean, you know, you always kind of felt bad for him, but especially now that he's actually trying to do the right thing, he's making the good choices. You're like, well, damn, I hate that he's dying now, you know? And Homelander, you know, it's been happening the entirety of the show. He's just, every episode, he just gets one step closer to, like, how do I, you know, now he's kind of more openly talking about it. How do I just take over the world? Can I just do that? Is that okay? Can I just, what happens if I just rule everything, you know? And so he's being more open about how he feels about humans, and they're all just playthings, and he's trying to teach Ryan these values. But yeah, in any case, I'm really enjoying this. I'm fascinated to see where they're going. Of course, they've long departed from the comics, so I wouldn't even use those as like an outline to see what's happening. I mean, in the comics, they did, of course, have the big White House moment at the end, and it doesn't feel like they're gonna do exactly that. It's like the same idea of Homelander trying to take over everything and just going crazy, but there's a lot more moving factors in play than there was in the comics. So I'm just yeah, I'm really excited. Let me know what you guys think about these first 3 episodes. What's been your favorite part? What's been the most disgusting part? Is it that dividing guy who was doing that stuff in that room? Oh my god, this show. Yeah. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.